What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here, and we are back. And today I want to talk about some of the little changes and some of the finer details for Operation Plague Star. And I went over the actual operation in a video yesterday and some of the rewards and whatnot in that video. However, today we're going to kind of look at some of the more fine details when it comes to the Hemocyte boss, as well as some changes that have been made to the reward system and whatnot. But you can see here in the footage, just like we were talking about yesterday, kind of what we have to do and what we have to accomplish in order to get this mission. The first step, first of all, is getting your hands on this this vial of poison, toxin, whatever you want to call it, in order to progress with the story. I'm going to show you guys each one of the stages just real quick in a short, cut up segment for the video, so you guys can get a good idea of what to do. And that is mostly because in the second portion of this bounty, we will have to do something very specific with this toxin, this vial of toxin, in order to, number one, get extra standing for the operation, as well as have an opportunity to fight the Hemocyte bosses. Now, I say bosses plural because you can fight anywhere from 0 to 4 of these bosses if you would like. And when we get over to the actual mixer, we will talk about that. So we're closing in now on the mixer. I've cleared the little area of the Grenier just to kind of make things a little bit easy for us. And of course the Grenier are going to drop in and try to make sure we actually fail our mission. But with Ember and World on Fire, this is going to make this actually fairly simple. So what we're going to do here is we are going to insert our toxin, and we want to be able to use this Eidolon Phylaxis. I'm going to use all 4 because that is going to increase our syndicate standing. And then if we use these infested catalysts, which you have to make in the dojo, if we make these infested catalysts, if you make 1 infested catalyst, you will have 1 Hemocyte boss. If you make 2, you will have 2 Hemocyte bosses. 3, same, you'll have 3, and 4, you'll have 4. Now, what I do want to mention is that this will, number 1, increase your standing as well if you complete this bounty. But, like I said, you will have to fight up to 4 Hemocytes, depending on how many of these infested catalysts you put in. I've run solo all 4, but because of the amount of infested and the amount of toxin in the area, I don't suggest, newer players especially, but I don't expect anyone who doesn't feel very, very confident in their skills to solo all 4 of the Hemocytes. With my World on Fire, I was able to pull it off because I was able to kill the infested while focusing on the boss. However, because of the toxic procs that a lot of the infested put out, I actually feel like it is a little bit dangerous. Even myself, I found it very difficult to take down 3 and the 3rd and the 4th because I had to play it very, very careful. I had to avoid as much of the toxic clouds and whatnot that were left by the infested as possible, and it is very easy to lose track of where you're at and get caught up in one of these clouds. But the second thing that we are going to have to do is get over to a drone and take this drone, insert the toxin that you will get out of this machine when it is done, and insert it into a drone and take this drone over to the boil. When you get to this boil is going to basically start the final portion of the bounty. And with that said, if you have 4 infested catalysts, you will have a Hemocyte pop up at about 25%, a Hemocyte pop up at about 50%, about 75 you will get your 3rd, and then at 99% it'll hold off and you will not be able to get a victory until the 4th Hemocyte comes out and you defeat it. you can't get more than one hemocyte at one time. So when you reach 25%, the hemocyte comes out and it will stall. The percentage will stop until you take out that hemocyte, no matter how many infested you kill. And then, like I said, it will move up to 50, it'll stop until you kill it, move up to 75, it'll stop until you kill it, and then 99%, and then you'll have to kill that one. Obviously, if you choose less hemocytes, you'll have less to deal with, and if you have not done this already, you may notice that if you fought one hemocyte, it's actually fairly easy. I believe either the closer you get to the fourth hemocyte, I believe every time a hemocyte comes up in the single bounty, it gets more difficult. I could be wrong, but when I got to my third and fourth hemocyte, I found myself having to do a significant amount of more damage. It is possible that if you summon all four, maybe they're all going to be more difficult. But anyways, from what I noticed, the third and fourth hemocytes are more difficult, at least. I believe it scales up from each and every one. But this is something that you could fairly easily do with some allies. When it comes to mixing in the Eidolon, forgive me, I forgot what it was called, but the little things you mix into the toxin, if you take a party with you, you can split that up. Everyone, if you have 4 players, everyone can put one in the machine, and that will make things a lot easier for you. If you have 2 players, you can split it up 2-2, however you would like. So that is one suggestion, is to take in a party. It is also going to help you fight the hemocyte, because if you get better angles on it and you can shoot the weak spots on the hemocytes, that'll make the boss much easier. I went into the fight actually surprised at how easy the hemocyte was to kill. However, I did realize that as a solo player, it was more of a struggle to avoid the infested that were on the ground rather than the hemocyte itself, because of the toxic clouds that were sprawled throughout the area. So that's mostly it for the operation. The rewards are actually pretty good. I have all the hunter mods. I will be talking about those in a video probably coming out a little bit later today. But the hunter mods seem actually pretty well worth it, because they do actually tie to your companion. And I believe that as long as you get this full set and you pick and choose which one you actually want to use, you can actually boost your companion's strength quite a bit. I could be wrong, but I'm going to have to run some tests on those. And then at the same time, like I said, the rewards for the person back in Hakak, I think is her name, or his name, hanging out at Cetus, now the amount of standing that it takes in order to get to each tier has been greatly reduced. If you have not done any of the operation yet, you may not really you won't see a difference because you won't have any standing. But for me, I had earned about 15 to 20,000 standing when the update went into play. So what ended up happening is, because the amount of syndicate points required was reduced, they actually bumped me all the way up to the maximum standing. And because of that, I had a few thousand syndicate points left over, and I was able to start farming and getting a lot of the stuff. So now, if you are curious and you started playing Operation Plague Star earlier and you have not jumped into the game since the update, the rewards are going to remain the same. However, the amount of syndicate points it takes to rank all the way up and actually purchase the champion, I believe, is the max tier. To purchase those champion rewards will be much less. So that'll definitely help your grind. That actually made this event much easier to swallow. I know the event isn't that incredibly exciting. It is quite a bit repetitive, but get in there with some friends, have some fun, and grab some of those rewards. I do want to point out for those who are actually going to be farming focus, this is actually a decent time to kind of do so. During this mission, and even after the hemocytes are defeated and the bounty is over, there are infested pods that continue to spawn infested. And as long as you have your focus thing going and you're grabbing this booster, you can sit here and farm for focus. Now, I do suggest bringing along a frame like Ember that can dispose of these guys very, very quickly, but you could potentially take in anyone you want and continue to farm up these infested as long as you like. Now, just be careful of the toxin. You let these guys take you out and you run out of revives, then you're going to miss out on all of the rewards you have earned up to this point. So just don't do that. And no, for those of you who are wondering, this is not necessarily a very excellent focus for expert players or those of you who are very far into your focus tree. For anyone that is beginning the game or even kind of mid-tier, every time you get one of those gold orbs and you pick them up, you can reliably get approximately 1,000 focus with one greater lens on your frame. That's it. If you have four installed across your frame and your weapons, then you could potentially make a lot more. Or you have better lenses, you can make a lot more. But I found myself with one greater Naramon lens on just my Ember, I could easily get 1,000. So it's up to you guys if it's worth farming or not. But like I said, for you early guys in the game, this might be some of your time to catch up on focus. But that should be pretty much it to go over with the reward or the event, the rewards, and the little bit of changes that happened. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope you guys learned a little bit of something, and hopefully you enjoyed the little bit of footage I had up on the screen of me fighting the hemocyte itself. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Blah!